Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to Savor This from the team at SavorThis. I'm Tara Bench from Tara Teaspoon, and I had so much fun cooking with you last time I was on this foodcast. I want to make another recipe with you today. We're going to make mozzarella caprese on focaccia. So let's get started. I have pizza dough from the fridge section at the grocery store, and I've let it sit at room temperature for an hour or 2 hours. And so it gets nice and soft and easy to use. And I'm putting a little olive oil in a 9x13 pan. You can use a regular 9x13 baking dish, but I have a quarter sheet pan here, and that will be the perfect size for my focaccia base. Now this pizza dough is nice and soft because I've let it sit out. And what I want to do is make sure it reaches all four corners. Once you have your pizza dough stretched sufficiently into your 9x13 pan, make little marks with your fingertips. This is the fun part, and the kids can get involved. These little marks hold the olive oil and salt and all the delicious flavors on top of that focaccia. The next thing I'm going to do is drizzle this with olive oil and rosemary and salt. So I have some rosemary here. I'm just going to trim some of those leaves onto the focaccia. A little kosher salt. You can also use sea salt. And the salt is what makes the top of that focaccia so savory and good, and you want to eat every bite. So a little more olive oil, and this is ready to go into a 375-degree oven for about 30 minutes until it's cooked through and nice and brown. So I'll be back with the baked focaccia. This looks so good. It just came out of the oven, and it's nicely browned. And I'm going to put it on a cooling rack so it can cool a little bit before I top it. And because we put all of that delicious olive oil in the pan, it doesn't stick. So we'll let that cool a minute and get our tomatoes and mozzarella ready. That's the best part of caprese, right? Is the juicy tomatoes and the creamy mozzarella. So I have 1 pound of fresh mozzarella here, and they're in half-pound balls. And fresh mozzarella is so great. It's not like the shredded kind that you would put on pizza. And my favorite way to slice mozzarella is to use a slicing knife that's nice and sharp. And this one is a hollow ground slicing knife, which means it just has some little divots so that it doesn't stick to the cheese. You can also use a serrated knife, and that's really helpful to slice through this soft, creamy cheese. Okay, now that I've got my mozzarella sliced, I want to cut some fresh tomatoes. So I just slice the end off, and then I'm going to slice my tomatoes into nice thin slices, and they'll lay right on top of the mozzarella. Okay, I have my toppings for my focaccia. So let's assemble this. The focaccia is cool enough. Oh, and it looks so good. We'll put it right on this cutting board. I'm going to lay this mozzarella evenly over the top, not missing any of those yummy bits, and the tomatoes will go on top. So you don't need to put anything under the mozzarella. It's just that fresh, sweet cream mozzarella and the tomatoes on top, and then the focaccia just kind of holds it all together for you. Okay, that's the perfect amount of mozzarella. Let's add the tomatoes, and you can use smaller tomatoes. You could even cut up cherry tomatoes and put on the top of this. That looks great, and then let's put just some flavorful toppings on top. My favorite thing, of course, is the classic basil. And you can just put some fresh leaves right there. You can tear them, you can cut them. I'm just pulling them right off. I think it's a beautiful presentation. Now let's top this with a little bit of salt and pepper. That's just like a little finishing touch that makes it so beautiful and tasty. A little hint of pepper, some more kosher or sea salt if you've got it, and it is ready. Look how beautiful this is. It's a beautiful presentation. It was so easy to put together, and now I have something to present at a potluck or a barbecue. Let's cut into it and taste it. The easiest way to cut this is with a serrated knife, because that cuts right through the focaccia. And I'm just going to slice right through those beautiful tomatoes and mozzarella, and then slice through that focaccia. It's great, look at that. Turn my little cutting board so you can see. And you can cut this into as many pieces as you'd like. I think it makes nice little kind of 2-inch pieces like this. And you can cut it all or have your guests cut it. So good, let's taste it. That extra salt and pepper really makes it savory and delicious. You know what would make it even better? A little drizzle of olive oil on the top, just to finish it off and adds that little peppery flavor. Hey, thank you for watching. I hope you had as much fun as I did making this delicious summer recipe, mozzarella caprese on focaccia. So you can get the full recipe via the direct link on this video post. I'll see you next time.